Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to the building of BoB1. I am both incredibly excited and totally bricking it right now. I'm at the stage where I have sliced the guitar into multiple pieces, and this is based on the work of Seth Rowland, who's a fantastic furniture designer, craftsman, maker, and I saw his work and I thought, I've got to do this, and then started testing and everything cracked and shattered and just disintegrated. And I'm still doing it! In this video, I am going to be finalising the body. This is it. If it is going to go horribly wrong, this is when. I'm going to be creating the wedges and doing the whole thing. So, well, here's for a wild ride. Now, quick announcement though beforehand. This whole build was based around the fact that I'm going to give the guitar away. If the body disintegrates in this video, I will just put wings of some fashion in the same style, but we'll basically fix it and make it functional, and it'll still be a guitar. We're going to give it away, and essentially, in order to enter into a competition to win it, you go to crimsonguitars.com, purchase anything in our huge, well, it was a Black Friday sale, it's now the Christmas sale, because, well, I haven't finished building this in time, predominantly because I've been procrastinating about today. So the sale is going to go on for as long as this video series goes on for, because I've completely mistimed it. So there we go, and I feel responsible. So yes, go to crimsonguitars.com, and all of the Luthier's tools, the supplies, bits and pieces, up to and including the courses come on a 6-day guitar building course. Anyway, enough of that. It's it's so scary. It's so scary. It's scary. It's been some wood. So I made a bunch of extra cuts, and what I'm going to do is I want some straight wedges to go in these sections, and yeah, up to there. So each of these pieces, that's all going to fan out. And I reckon I need about, well, we'll see. Yeah. Every time I manipulate this, it has to be on camera now, just in case I destroy it. So I'm going to make some wedges out of flame maple. And what I want to do is, for the first ones, for those sections at least, I'm going to make them at one time, so they're pretty much uniform. So I'm going to angle this piece down and then slit it into the wedges, and we'll be fine. Flame maple. Yay. And I suppose, yeah, well, we'll see. The wedge is going to be roughly that big. Okay, this sucks. Plating across grain, and to be honest, I'm only going to get maybe 4 wedges out of this. Now, we have a center line, and then it fans out from that center line. So what I've had to do actually is make a wedge which goes in the center. That's almost right. Come look. So there we are. That's wedge shaped. And then from there we're going to have a section that's fanning out like that. But making it this way, cross-grained, not fun. Not fun at all. I much prefer planing with the grain. So there we go. One down, I think. This is gonna be so cool. So cool. All right. So really, I need to use that wedge. I need to use this wedge as a template, I think. I can do that. I'm running out of time. This whole build, of course, is going much longer than it was supposed to. What I'm going to do actually is make use of the bandsaw a lot better to get rid of my waste. So this is going to cut down on the planing, and we'll go from there. Bandsaw home. Much better. I'm not excited. Of course I'm excited. I wasn't expecting to be putting pieces in backwards, but actually that works out rather well. We've got a pleasing spread of gaps here. Now the problem is I essentially need to start planning the actual outline of the guitar now, because some of these pieces are shorter and I can't be bothered to make them again. Okay, I've got to the point where I've got like 28 faces that all require glue. And there was some glue. We're not even at the fun part yet. You don't even know about the fun part yet. Okay, I'm gonna glue this, so did you hear that? It wasn't anything cracking. I do have a question for myself. Okay. Well, let's do this. So it occurred to me that actually I might want those to stick out the back and the front. No, just the front, just the front. Okay. Decision made. This is going to be stressful. I'm not using fast set glue. I'm just, there's my hammer. Let's go for it now. There's my vise. Okay, I have everything. Glue, vise, hammer, etc. Oh, see, I'm already slippery. Ah! So it's exactly at this point where I'm fully expecting a fire alarm to go off, or an incredibly important phone call from a multi-millionaire investor who wants to, you know, gift me, I don't know, a new workshop. Just, but I've got 30 seconds, or I just don't get it. Something like that. Or I'll realise I actually came to work with no clothes on today, or something. Or I can't stop talking. And maybe I should be concentrating on gluing. I don't know. Do you think I should be? Do you think I should be hammering this really delicate piece of creation? Each one of these pieces is now in place. They're also all slippery. We're not hearing any cracks. So scary. Okay, they're also all very slippery. Nothing appears to have moved. Clamps, small clamps over here. This is the first ever self-clamping guitar. That wasn't the crack, that was the crack making that noise. All right, so all I need to do now is get rid of as much of the wet glue as I possibly can. I don't like leaving a mess. It's all looking pretty damn good. We're about a quarter of the way there, and this is again almost the end of the day. Yay. And I'm back. It is another day. I'm all coffeeed up, and the glue, it has dried. Nothing broke. Let's have a look. Okay, now you'll notice here that that is not symmetrical. The whole guitar is going to be facing that way. These lines, however, do match up with the terminations there. Before we get to this beautiful flame maple, with which I'm going to make the wedges, I'm going to go to the bandsaw, chop off any excess little bits and pieces off the end from what we glued up last night. And, well, these wedges are not just going to be wedges, because that would be boring. If you look at this fantastic instrument, by dint of making all of these cuts, it's flexible not only widthways, but horizontally. Is that the same thing? That's the same thing. It bends. And, well, I'm going to have to put an angle in here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is take a sliding bevel, I suppose, and put an angle. Where's my sliding bevel? Dagnammit. Of course, there we go, in the drawer in which it lives. I'm going to choose an angle and essentially chop up some of these pieces of flame maple offcuts and chop them at angles, give me a strip, and then from there I can make the wedges. I'm not mathematically minded, I do things. And as I do things, I figure out what I should have done in the first place. I could sit down and potentially model this entire instrument in some sort of CAD or a Google SketchUp program or something like that, but that's not me. I don't necessarily enjoy that side of things. I would rather it just happens and then see where we go. I've just remembered that what might happen at this stage, that this guitar might just disintegrate into itself. Don't think that's going to happen. Watch what happens when I push it together. There's my curve. I love this. I could have gone even further than that actually if I'd wanted to. At this point, you have no idea how excited I am. All together, that all looks really good. I wish I had a double length over there for strength. Once that's all together, that's under tension, which is putting tension on that joint there. Once it's open, there'll be less. But I might have to do something in here. I might have to do something here to make that strong enough. I'm not sure. Or maybe even get rid of that one entirely. But all together, well, at the moment, we have an awesome looking flying V. Who votes to leave it at a V? By the time you vote, as much as your comments will delight and elucidate me, it will be too late. Okay, so what I'm going to do, seriously, is this is not going as straightforward as it should be. Essentially, I want this to actually flow up into some sort of a double cutaway kind of build, which means these all need to be shaped more. And most importantly, I don't want anything to snap. That's just... No. No. Yes. I am trying to design this as I build it. And this is slightly problematic. What I'm going to have to do is extend the whole process, make it take a whole hell of a lot longer, but hopefully thus ensure that it works properly. What I'm going to do is clamp up this section here, glue it up, get that done and dusted. I need to sand the insides, the inside edges, etc. And sort that out. And then once that's clamped, I will be able to get at least some of these clamped up as well. Maybe those 4, we'll see. What I want the body to do is curve out. And the whole thing's trying to disintegrate on me because there's multiple angles here. Each of these little pieces is wedged as well, and yeah, it's causing some issues. So, well, time to do a glue up. Does need to be clamped up first, absolutely. I need a clamping coil, and I'm going to use some of the other pieces that I'm going to clamp in because it's the opposite of the angle that I've got. So it should allow the clamps to clamp in straight and flat, but actually put in the curve that I require. You saw it was slipping because it's on a V. I'm going to use on one side the scraper, to which I've glued 2 pieces of sandpaper, and on the other I'm just going to glue a piece of sandpaper to itself, and then it'll grip both the coil and the clamp, and everything should work out all right, I hope. Sandpaper. Sandpaper. Okay, double-sided sandpaper. You're good. You're good. Stay. I'm having fun. Okay, we're done. I have everything. Except my glue. Aha! Okay, I'm going to move that so I don't put glue on my clamping core. Fine, I'm procrastinating. All right, let's go. Now this is something I didn't do last time, and I actually ended up with more glue than I really wanted. But, you know, what can you do? Oh no, I got distracted by putting the glue back in the bottle. Hold on. There is a correct orientation and an incorrect orientation. Okay, those are good. Clamping core's in place. These clamps only just go wide enough. So I think that's it. Every fibre of my being is telling me to turn the guitar over and see what's happening on the back. That worries me. Okay. Yeah, see? Okay, that's opened up at that edge there. Just the edge. What am I going to do? Do I have another long one? 1, 2. I do. I've got another long one. Is it long enough to clamp on top of the other clamp? How interesting. Because of all of these strange shapes going on in here, I'm actually, oh, there we go. Okay, we've got multiple angles, and that was so scary. I didn't swear, nobody heard that. Poop. Poopy poop. And then more poop. Ultra poop. Arrgh. Okay. around the workbench and see where we're at. This is fun, isn't it? That's putting more pressure on this central section than I like. That one slipped a little bit that way, but that doesn't really matter. Okay. Funnily enough, at least from that angle, that has now improved the whole setup. Yeah. So there's the issue now. We've actually swapped the problem area over. Fine. Okay, so this was not supposed to be going like this at all. Where are we? That's somewhat successful. I have never done a glue up like this before. Okay. Nope, you're far too late. My open time is decreasing, i.e. my glue is going to have set too much for any of this to make any difference. If I don't get this sorted relatively soon. Actually, what I'm going to do is flood the joint with some fresh glue. This is a 100-odd-year-old vintage pointing tool, just for fun. Okay, and we're nearly there. You out of my way. Okay. Close that up. Close that up. It's not there. There was the clamp talking, not the body. Where are we? Fine. Fine. So, you watched me do a test clamp, which went okay. And then there was that flurry of excitement. Nothing is cracked. The joints are okay. Actually should be perfectly fine. The curve is lovely. I'm really happy with that. There are several lessons here. One, never film yourself doing something you've never done before. 2, never release a video series before you've finished building the guitar, especially if it's this potentially catastrophic. And 7, why the hell did I think that I'd be able to clamp both the front and the rear at the same time? I must be deluded. Okay. At the very least, I'm sure this is now the end of this video. If this isn't a cliffhanger, I don't know what is. I will be back in the next video to do more of the same, making custom wedges, gluing them in, and you will see the final shape of this guitar come together. Thank you for watching. Do not forget that you can still win this guitar. It can be yours. Go to crimsonguitars.com to see how. Please click like and subscribe, and please forgive me because I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and have a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea. Goodbye, everyone. I'm having a cup of tea now. You go have a cup of tea now. If we can somehow ensure that 15,000 people have a cup of tea at the same time, that would be pretty awesome. Cheers.